Welcome back to Duffy Kitchen. It is Saturday, like 6:30, because I have no life and a husband who works on the weekend. So these are the two standards we're going to be covering in our next unit. I know that you haven't thought that far ahead yet, but I am. Surprise, surprise. So the first one we're going to talk about is 2A, the Great Plains. And how did people's perceptions and use of the Great Plains change after the Civil War? So prior to the Civil War, if you remember, the Great Plains were very barren, desolate, not a whole lot of use going on, okay? Settling in this area, the Great Plains is that yellow area you see on your screen. Settling in the Great Plains was really challenging because there wasn't a lot of rain, there wasn't a lot of water, you can't really grow much there. The dirt is hard and places crawling with Native Americans, and it's not really settler friendly. So things really are against you if you choose to live a life in the Great Plains. But after the Civil War, that all changes, and people start to move to the Great Plains in massive numbers because the opportunities are there. And the real reason why the opportunities are there are because there's these new adaptations and inventions. So these new technologies that help the West become more hospitable, more, hey, let's live there, it's not as bad as it sounds. Okay, as I am going to go away for a minute because the couple of slides I've got next you need the whole screen for. So I'm going to go away for a second. I mean, my face is, but my voice. Okay? Physical features of the Great Plains. This is why the Great Plains are so not fun to live at. And what you'll notice is that think of the place that you hate to go, whether it's because it stinks or whether because that place it's not fun, there aren't people there your age, whatever the case is, there's a place that you definitely don't want to go. That is the Great Plains for most people, is because it's not a good environment. If you're a farmer, this is the last place you want to farm. If you are a business person, this is the last place you want to go because nobody's living there to buy your stuff. Okay, so you have the flatlands that rise gradually from east to west. Now remember, guys, east is on the right side of your screen and west is going to be on the left side of your screen. So flatlands that rise from left to right are not great for farming because the water isn't going to run, the water's going to run down, and you really don't necessarily want that. The water is not going to run at all. It's going to pool at the bottom of the hill. That's the point I was trying to make. Sorry. The water is going to pool at the bottom of the hill, so it's not necessarily the greatest option. Okay, land is eroded by wind and water. What eroded means, this word right here, this word eroded, it means that the land is eaten up, worn away, destroyed by wind and water. It's not really great farming land because the wind and water are destroying it. When the Great Plains did get rainfall, there wasn't a lot of it, but when there was rainfall, it was quick and fast and definitely destructive on all counts. So what they wound up doing was it's just not good to settle. And then finally, frequent dust storms. Okay, dust storms are what you see in the bottom here in the corner. Is a dust storm is a storm that's kicked up by dust, and it's because the land is dry. So when the wind blows, all the dust blows, and dust storms are very destructive because there are certain places that, guys, you don't want sand in certain places, and you definitely don't want sand in other, and for your farming equipment or anything. So the Great Plains is really just a very unwelcoming environment. Just before the Civil War, People did not go to the Great Plains. It was known as a treeless wasteland because it wasn't good to settle there. You didn't do it. Very few people settled there. They kind of just use it as this pass through on their way to the West Coast, Rocky Mountain, and Pacific regions. Most people did not stop and settle in the Great Plains until after the Civil War. And the reason why most of those people did not settle in the Great Plains until after the Civil War is this boom, if you will, this explosion of new technologies. And these new technologies, these inventions and these adaptations. Okay, so these new technologies, these inventions and these adaptations. An adaptation is something that helps to take what exists and make it livable, make it usable. So these adaptations are important to the Great Plains because they take the Great Plains and they make them habitable. It makes it possible to settle and live in the Great Plains because of these inventions. Barbed wire. Oh, by the way, guys, you need to know these. These are going to come up and show up. Barbed wire is what you see here. It's the picture with the blue. That was used as fencing. It was cheap fencing. When people moved to the Great Plains, they moved and they took up massive amounts of land because ain't nobody else using it, so why not me? So I guess I'm going to take everybody's land, but how do I keep my cattle in? How do I keep people out? How do I let people know that this is mine? Well, the cheapest and easiest way to do that is to use barbed wire. If you don't know what barbed wire is, it's wire with little pokey things sticking out. So if you were to try and climb through it or climb over it, your clothes would get stuck, you would get cut, and it made people stop and think before they crossed it. Steel plows, it's the thing right here in the corner. Previously, plows were made of wood and they would break in the Great Plains because the dirt was so hard. But the invention of the steel plow, using this extremely strong metal, really made it so that you could cut through and you could plow up that dirt to plant seed. Dry farming is a scientific invention that allowed the farmers to farm things like wheat farming, dry farming and wheat farming. It allows farmers to grow things that don't require a lot of water. They learned how to farm and how to grow things that don't need a lot of water and will still survive and can make them money. Windmills, because I purposely skipped one, I'm coming back to it. Windmills. Windmills were used to pull water from deep in the earth. So they would, let me show you. Okay, so they would use a old-fashioned windmill that looks something like this. Okay, this windmill right here. They would use this windmill to pull water from deep inside the earth. And that would bring the water out, and then so when it didn't rain, you still had access to water. The second to last one is the picture down here. It's called a sod house. There aren't trees. There's no trees. You can't build yourself a log cabin. You're not building yourself a wood house. So you're learning to take the top layer of dirt, which is called sod. It's the grass. So you're taking that top layer of dirt and grass, and you're pulling it up and you're piling it one on top of the other to make a sod house. Let me see if I can find a better picture. A sod house that's a sod house because those aren't bricks, guys. That is rolled up grass to make it appear like a brick. That's a sod house. So sod houses are used so that people in the Great Plains have a place to live. That's how you built your house if you lived in the middle of the Great Plains. And then finally, the big one is the invention of the railroad. And the Transcontinental Railroad for us is a game changer. Transcontinental Railroad crossed the Great Plains from the Mississippi, and it went all the way to the Pacific Ocean. Not only was it expensive to take on, to build, and to create, and this is actually going to be one of your choice board projects, is that you are going to have to sell people on the advantages of the Transcontinental Railroad and get them to invest money in it. But I'll go over that in more detail. But the Transcontinental Railroad is a complete game changer for everybody, Black, white, Native American, and eventually when we get to it, next unit, Asians. Okay, we have the introduction of Asian immigrants as a result of the building of the Transcontinental Railroad. So the Transcontinental Railroad is now, there's a reason why people want to move to the Great Plains, and that's either to work on the railroad or now things are more accessible. So here is a map of the Transcontinental Railroad. It's actually the one in orange that picks up in Chicago and goes all the way through to San Francisco. So it picks up on the Mississippi, but really the Transcontinental Railroad is the one that goes across the entire country. And the one from the Atlantic to Chicago existed, but what they wound up doing was they picked up the railroad in Chicago and brought it all the way to the Pacific Ocean to encourage travel, but also to encourage people to move off the East Coast. So these are your inventions, your adaptations, and the Great Plains. I am going to stop here with this one, and I'll pick up with the next one as soon as this one uploads to YouTube.